Hi, Bradley. How you doing? Thank you so much for getting your work and your written rationale included. So I'm reading through your written rationale. I want to get to work in a second, but reading through the written rationale, there's one thing that I want to mention. One observation. So you're talking mostly about the letters GNS and that they're tough to work with. You have a lot of preliminary doodles and sketches before you make your 10 thumbnails. And that's good. I mean, that's good experimentation, good exploration. Of course, we always start with pencil to paper and work out the details as such, as opposed to jumping straight on the computer. So I'm really glad you mentioned that. The one thing you didn't mention in your written rationale, and the one thing that concerns me just a little bit, is that you haven't really mentioned how you're encoding meaning into the monogram. And now, granted, the assignment instructions weren't quite the same as last week and the week before, in that you are actually encoding a specific word from your word list into the work for the client. So this one, you're basically kind of taking the whole mission statement, the whole mission of the client as perceived, and working and encoding meaning from there. So not specifically using a word, but definitely using the mission, the perceived mission of your client. Perceived mission being network guardian security, meaning a internet and an online internet data security firm. Okay, so we can take that, what we know about that, and we can actually add some meaning based on what we know about the company and what they do. Let me just kind of give you some examples of what I'm talking about. So let's jump over to your sketches, and you've got the three circled, and I think the one probably holds the most meaning in terms of encoding the mission of the client into the actual monogram. Let me explain. So basically what you have here is you have a lot of different iterations, and it still kind of looks like you're in the experimentation stage, just kind of working with form, as it were. Now, it's interesting to me that you've selected the three that you did, because I think the three that you selected show the most potential in terms of encoding meaning. This one I think is the strongest. Why? Because you have G for guardian, and then inside the G, inside the walls of the G, safely protected away from all of the external environmental things that can damage, is network security. So what you're seeing here is that network security in the monogram itself is being protected by the G for guardian. And that's smart, and that encodes meaning, and that creates meaning, and that points to the mission of the company. Okay, these ones, I think it's actually kind of neat that you picked the three that encode this kind of protection most effectively. This one does, because it's within these vertical rules, but typically I stay away from it. I tend to recommend that students stay away from stacking letters vertically, because we don't read that way, and it just never really works out the way that as intended. So I think this one right here is also interesting. But the three you have circled, I think, include the most meaning in terms of showing this protection in a simple monogram. And I think of the three, this would be the most effective. I think it's got the most interesting form. I definitely think it shows the NS, network security, being clearly protected inside the G for guardian. So that's really good. Good thinking. I would recommend that. But listen, you go ahead and move forward in the direction that you feel has got the most potential. Again, thank you so much for submitting on time. It's really, you'll see that, when you submit, you get your feedback, and then you get your feedback from your classmates, and everybody's kind of on the same page, and you'll see how expeditiously it's very expeditious to get outside resources. We don't practice design in a vacuum, although sometimes as a student it seems like we do. However, always at any possible chance you get, participate in critique, because to put it simply, 2 sets of eyes, 4 sets of eyes, 6, 8 sets of eyes is better than 1, 10 times out of 10. Okay, so really glad you were able to get this submitted and be able to get some feedback moving into your M4 Task 2 and, of course, into your M4 final submission. All right, any questions, comments, concerns whatsoever, please feel free to let me know, get with me, and I'll be glad to help out. All right, great job, man. Thank you.